That's weird. And I copied the link straight from this meeting, hitting the share button. So
That is so bizarre.
I blame Microsoft.
all right,
Yeah,
Mike,
exactly.
since you were the VP before the turnover, we need you to start the meeting so we can elect officers.
All right, it is 1:06. I'd like to adjourn the meeting. No, 1:06. What do I say? Just start the meeting?
I call the meeting to order.
Call the meeting to order.
I wanted to adjourn it. All right, call the meeting to order.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Darn, I didn't get out that easy.
That's all right. Before we do approval of meeting minutes, we should probably skip to action item A to appoint officers, and then we can move forward.
Yeah, that would be easy. So the longest standing person other than Mike is Eric. Did he want to be president, by the way? So that we could do this quickly.
God, no. So no, I'm not that organized. I'll nominate Charles Richards for president.
All right, there you go. Okay. Second.
I need a second. There you go.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, Charles, you are now the president. You get to take over the meeting.
Great. I guess next person to put it in my signature line. All right. Sorry. All right. Vice president. So nominations are open for vice president. Who
I nominate Mike.
Yes,
No,
I'll
thank
second
you.
that.
I nominate Lee.
Nah, it's all right. I think you guys could do it. One of you guys.
I nominate Bill Long.
Nominate Eric.
There you go.
I'll second Bill's nomination.
Oh, dirty dog.
That
Yeah.
says a lot. That says a lot.
All right. I'm calling the question. All in favor of Bill Long? Aye.
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 Congrats, Bill.
I can put that in my signature now.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Secretary. I'll nominate Lee.
Great. I'm not far. I could easily sign papers, so that's not a huge deal.
I'll second the nomination for Lee.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Treasurer?
I nominate Eric.
Oh shit.
I'll second Eric.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. So we've got myself as president, Bill as VP, Lee as secretary, and Mr. Opagard as treasurer with his beautiful graph shirt.
Don't make fun of my graph paper shirt. I like my graph paper shirt.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh.
All right. So we're going back to, so we need to call, well, we need to adopt the agenda
Adopt the
first,
agenda.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move. Second.
Eric,
Take your pick, Lauren.
fine. Any modifications? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Is there a motion to approve the February 17th, 2026 minutes?
As a
One,
secretary, I will make it.
hold on. What?
Go ahead,
There is
Mike.
one thing before you make that motion. The discussion about using the town hall emails was not taken up at the last meeting.
We'll make that adjustment.
Okay. Assume everyone's
Yeah,
okay with that.
it was just a discussion item, but we didn't actually discuss
Take
it.
it
I'll
up.
make a motion to approve based on Mike's comment.
Okay. All right, so we're in the approval of minutes now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
With the change.
with the change. All right, all in favor?
It was
Oh.
yeah, with the change, yeah.
Okay, with the change. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We got through the action minutes. All right, cost sharing agreement. So I won't spend a lot of time on this. I know we've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't know the best way to do this. I mean, we obviously have a bunch of different opinions on it. We've obviously got the Crow and Canoa sides. Do you, Lee and Mike, do you maybe want to start off with your thoughts on it, and then maybe we'll go around on the Crow side? I'm open to whatever works best for the team.
Yeah, I mean, just from us, we didn't think there's any changes. We signed a 3-year agreement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think there's anything to add, really.
Okay. So I can kick it off, maybe Eric, and then pass it over to you. I know you had some good thoughts during our meeting. So we met as a board during our workshop a couple weeks ago, and candidly, I added the topic of CJC dissolution to our agenda. As we've been talking about it over the last year and change, there's just been a lot of conversation around level of service and can we meet expectations, and is Grand Manor's doing their thing and all this marketing and whatnot have you. um I was going more toward the path of, why do we need to continue this exercise of just having this whole organization. And then I've been brought back a little bit just with the purpose of CJC and everything that it brings from a balance perspective. But as we were doing some thinking, I think where we want to take it is more so dialing this thing back to just the basic level of service. And Eric, I don't know if you want to maybe kick it off from there, because I think from where we're sitting, that may just be an easier thing for us to monitor, administer, and
Yeah, as
whatnot.
as the treasurer now, I'll talk from the monetary point of view. I think the biggest thing for us is, we had looked at doing this previously, where we looked at the Canoa contribution into the CJC cost sharing agreement previously, and we said, okay, we agreed that there was areas that we weren't performing enough, so that's why we ramped it back. I think the other side of this is we've learned, kind of as Canoa's needs have changed, they've developed, and there's more of a need that we need to be able to get done. I don't know if it's fair for us to continue to try to meet those needs when I don't know if we have the right skill set or if we don't have the right time and commitment involved with it. So we've kind of been going back and forth on the communications position, kind of what services are provided there, kind of how that works and what's needed. And the concern, because ultimately it's a big financial hit to CROA when we look at this from losing that quote unquote contribution. But then as we've kind of gone over the past year, we've determined that there's a lot of that really the contribution wasn't going to things that that were very clear that should have been done under the agreement. Like we're not giving the right services to Canoa in that instance. So we kind of floated this idea at the workshop, as Charles mentioned. I am not in favor of dissolution. I think that it's something that mechanically there's still a purpose that can be met for it, but the cost sharing piece I think is where we struggle. And I don't think it's fair to continue to ask for a contribution when we're not able to, prove some of the value. We're not able to come back into it. So if we revert back to what the, kind of bare agreement is under CJC with the cost sharing agreement, I think it's 46 and change or something like that, 46,000 or something. And that's what we would be proposing that we move to essentially in January of next year. So this year would run its course. For the rest, we would try to make sure that we figure out what we can do for support. How do we manage this as part of the transition? And then in January, it would go back, because that's kind of the way that it works. We want to notice to terminate the cost sharing agreement portion of this, and it would revert back to just that kind of minimum contribution. Into that, and then the services obviously would go back to kind of that bare minimum level of services that are provided to the Canoa team from the CJC level, and then hopefully that would free up Canoa to be able to then take the funds and invest that into a team that would need to be able to do the work elsewhere. And we're kind of having this conversation now because we want to make sure that we follow all the right notice periods with it. And so once again, it would continue throughout the rest of this year, and then in January is when we would look to flip that over.
Just to add on what Eric was saying, I think real quick. I think the one thing that Eric's nailed it perfectly, but we want to make sure that we set you all up for success, because we're in March right now. So to get,
Yeah.
whether it's marketing
Yeah.
resources, whether it's additional resources, we want to make sure that we talk about this now and have those conversations now, because again, this is, it's all symbiotic here. So, whatever we can do to have these conversations and get you all ready for whatever you need. So sorry, Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that. My question, I think it was more January. What was, and Lauren could tell me, we had to make notice by a certain date, and then what are the notice periods and all that kind of stuff? Because that sounds like what Eric, and that's what you were trying to get to. Like, if we did something by a certain date, it would start, right? So what's the?
Yeah. So Lee, the notice period is in whichever board wants to end or amend the cost sharing agreement needs to put it in writing to the other board by June 1 of that year. And then the effective date of the new agreement or lack thereof would be January 1 the following year. So we're not impacting anybody's budget in the middle of the year.
I get it. Okay, right. So you accounted for the. I totally understand. Okay, that makes sense that we're dealing with those dates. Okay. Now, and Charles, done what Eric said is do we want to take this time in this meeting to discuss, like, because there's a lot of nuances on that, like, what happens to this and what happens to that. Is that we want to discuss it here? Do you want to take it offline and discuss with Lauren and that kind of stuff, or how do we want to move forward? Because it's an interesting proposal. I haven't thought about that, but I could understand why CROA might want to do that for sure. So how do we want to discuss it, really?
I mean, I'm open to whatever works for everyone. Obviously, this is going to be for our purposes, and Eric and Bill, feel free to jump in. For us, it's more so going to be the financials that we have to look at, right?
Yeah.
Because we're taking that back on. So how do we, we'll have to connect with the finance committee and look at kind of per door what that looks like, and we can handle that on the CROA side. For you all, I would think, obviously, how are you going to procure that additional level of service, right? And that's,
we're going to have to hire, right? Yeah.
Right. So,
and Lee, I think really we don't have the answers yet. I mean, I think, that's the whole thing. Like we wanted to bring this, I mean, legit, the CROA team has had one workshop on this, but it's like, we kind of wanted to raise it now to say, hey, first off, we wanted to get alignment on the CROA side that says, hey, we're going to raise this in the meeting. Are we kind of all aligned here that this is a path that we're even willing to entertain? And then, the consensus was, yes, we're willing to entertain this. The details part of it about like, how actually does this work out? We don't know yet. And so I think it's the same thing on the Kanoa side. We know that, both yourself and Mike, you probably have to go talk to your stakeholders as well and say, look, this is kind of what's being presented at the CJC level, but there's impact to both teams. I think some of the mechanics of this, as it works out, the service level pieces will probably hash out depending on how this goes. Let's say that, everyone's aligned and we say, yep, we're going to provide formal notice in writing. We're all going to go down this. We vote for it. And let's say it passes. That's something that we would probably work out in like Q3, Q4 timeframe, so that Q1 would be aligned. But then also we're both doing our budgets during that time as well. And so, yes, there's impact to the CROA side of this, but I don't want to dismiss that there's impact to the Kanoa side as well. When, we know that this is something that you're going to need to look at procurement or for finding, services for those things as well. And I think the piece that I'll echo from the workshop that everyone still said, there's still a need to work with the businesses between the two entities, right? So it's truly the cost sharing piece of this. I think the working relationship for things like where we're still looking for sponsorships from businesses, or we want to do partnerships for different pieces and, partner programs and all that sort of jazz. That stuff all continues. And that will continue on kind of whether this is in place or not. It's just some more of that tactical support is looking to say, hey, we think we need to free up the team to get the right people in place.
No, I can see that. I mean, I guess it's really just because things have changed over the years that it's very hard for management to manage let's talk, communications manager type, person to be able to do dual roles and have dual skills and all that kind of, and it makes sense. I mean, but it's right. There's a cost for both of us for sure. So, okay. I think, I mean, at the end of the day, if it works better for both of us, that's what we're going for. It may cost, us both money, but it may not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it may be a wash for both of us, in a way. So,
yeah, and I think
Lee,
we're getting what we want.
Lee, the one thing that I wanted to add too, and this is for all of us, I don't know our thoughts, but I would propose we start meeting monthly, at least for the next few months, just so we can continue to watch this and have conversations ongoing. I don't think quarterly is going to do for this particular initiative. Just make sure that we're continuously staying aligned on this. And, if something unpredicted happens, we can have those conversations and recalibrate. But I think just being in constant communication, obviously, as we go back to our respective boards, is going to be really critical. This is uncharted territory for both of us.
If we want it to happen, quarterly is going to be difficult, right? I agree. Yeah, we want it to actually make it happen, then we have to go back to our board immediately, and I think there's a lot of work that's going to take months. Yeah, okay.
I think that right now we don't have enough information to actually even go back to our board. So could you give me some kind of idea after January 1st, what type of services would continue under Real Manage?
Lauren, do you have kind of or Eric, Eric?
No, I was going to ask the same thing you're asking. I was going to pin Lauren with it.
So Lauren, what's kind of the I don't want to call it bare bones, but what effectively is kind of the standard service model that we would go back to in that particular instance?
So the standard service model would be what's in the management services agreement that's been shared with both boards. For Canoa, that's community standards, that's their quarterly meetings, monthly financials, their annual meeting, their elections, owner association communications, legal liaison, handling insurance stuff, handling their reserve study. And I can pull up the contract and send that out to everybody and kind of highlight what those services would be.
And how would this change the CJC functions after January 1st?
What do you mean? How does it change the CJC functions?
I mean, are we doing the same, or does it change anything materially with this board, or?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We would still approve painting of the water tower.
Yes.
So,
And new lights.
And mowing underneath it.
and mowing,
Yeah.
mowing important. But I think, Mike, I think you're right. I think, understanding, getting that clear picture of kind of what does it really mean is helpful for both parties, too, so that Crow is not caught off guard by something. So I think, Lauren, recirculating that would be helpful for everyone, just to see like, hey, this is actually what it says. But I think to the point, and clearing up any confusion here, which I'm seeming like it sounds like everyone's a consensus of, it doesn't sound like there's appetite on the Canoa side for dissolution of CJC either. Even if it just, I don't want to say, it kind of goes back to, we're really focusing on the basic mechanics of things. But it's kind of like, to me, once you dissolve it, it would be near impossible for us to reform this group again if we ever needed to, because we don't know what the future is going to hold. I mean, we might go, 10 years down the road and decide, hey, there really is a need that we need to, have this, entity here for. But even if it is just going back to, we're really focusing on approving painting and mowing of the water tower and that sort of thing, that's okay to me.
Mm-hmm. And I do
Eric,
think hopefully, good.
I mean, I'm sure, I can't remember when you served on CJC previously, but Lauren can tell you some of those meetings lasted about 3 mintes. It wasn't.
Under the Paige Pierce days, I mean, back then we just did whatever Paige said. But at the time they were all brief. So
yeah, I do think too, look, we have to kind of address it's been contentious, right, over the last year and a half plus with this whole thing. And when you look at it, it's all boiled down to this cost sharing. And hopefully, just by getting this into a place where both boards feel good, we feel like we're delivering the right services, we're paying the right amount. We can get back to focusing on what. When I started peeling it back, the CJC is designed so that we help each other. We keep each other engaged, and when the businesses thrive, the homeowners thrive, and the homeowners thrive, the businesses thrive. And I feel like sometimes we get away from that. Candidly, I think we're all guilty of it at times, and we don't want to be in that position of vilifying one another. How can we continue to work productively? And again, that's why we want to do this right now in March, so that you all have the time to have those conversations with your constituents, with the board, go out and see what services are out there, and then talk with us, right? Because we don't know what this is going to look like. So maybe we need to take a step back and look at this a little bit differently. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I wanted to put that out there so that we continue to have constructive dialogue.
Well, and I think what you're hearing is, I mean, we had a rub basically. It's we're operating differently than we have been over the years, and maybe this makes sense, because what we don't want us to be at odds with each other, and we are, because it's shared resources that's not working perfectly. So this might be the best way to do it. And so I think what we'll do is we'll take it offline. We'll discuss it with our group, and then I think we'll probably even talk to Lauren about those certain things that that we need done that maybe not included and that kind of stuff, or something like that. How it could be handled, and or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's again all off. Yeah, I think it's interesting, but also I think it should get us to where we actually function better. That's the goal, I think. Right? I mean, overall.
Yeah. So for next steps, it sounds like we're all, unless I hear otherwise, we're all nodding our heads and we're in agreement, at least proceeding with the conversations with our respective boards. Do we want to maybe schedule a check-in at 30 days if everyone agrees, or longer? What do you all think about reconvening as a board to kind of talk about how things are progressing? What are our thoughts?
I think the June 1st deadline will be here before we know it. So 30 days is probably a good number.
Yeah. Is that okay,
are you
Lauren,
going
for
to
your
talk
perspective?
to your finance group first? Because I'd hate to go through this exercise and then your CROA board and your finance doesn't even think that we're going to do it. Do you need to take another step or that kind of stuff? Do you feel reasonable that we should be? Do you feel reasonable enough that CROA might actually accept this, that we should be going to our board? Because I don't want to do it without that, let's say. You know what I mean?
I'll be the bad guy here. The finance committee is an advisory board, or advisory group rather, and I think we have to take the position that this is direction from the CROA side. Eric and Bill, feel free to shut me up if you feel differently, but I think that's the directive we have to give finance.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to make it work, Lee. I think on the CROA side. I mean, and that's kind of the basics of it. The board at the workshop, I mean, we all were talking the numbers, and everyone understands where we need to figure this part out. And then, I mean, that might mean that some things that we want to do, like with master planning or different stuff, might get delayed? Yeah, absolutely. But the advantage of this is that it's not immediate. We kind of have the rest of the year to figure this out before there's truly any pain on the CROA side from not having that contribution come January. And so that should give us an idea to get our act together by then.
Yep. Agree.
Okay.
So Lauren, Jacob, does that work for you all? Just, I want to be respectful of everything you all, because obviously Kano is going to be asking some questions. So are you guys comfortable with 30 days reconnecting? And
yeah, that's fine. By then, CROA will have had a workshop, and Kanoa will have had a formal meeting as well, in case anything needs to be discussed in a meeting setting. So we'll send out some proposed dates for about 30 days out.
Okay.
All right. And Lauren, can we schedule a meeting with you just to come discuss kind of what this might look like from our end, so we can give our board a well-informed brief?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Charles, did you want to talk dates now, or?
I just send out those doodle polls. Those things are the best.
Oh yeah, I like the doodle poll.
Okay, I'll send out a
I
doodle
hate
poll.
spending 20. I hate spending 20 minutes going through our calendars on the phone. It's just a horrible waste of time. If that works for everyone, is everyone cool with that? If she just sends out like one of those doodle polls to
It's fine.
figure out. Okay. Cool. All right. So we've got our next steps on the Crow side, Canoa side. We'll meet in 30 days. Anything else? Anyone wanted to?
I wanted
chat
to
about?
revise my comment about Eric's shirt. It's not graph paper. It's actually Sudoku paper.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
All right, I move
I
to
definitely
adjourn.
need to print that.
All right, we've got.
Th-
Are you serious?
I'm serious, yeah. And thanks, Mike and Lee, for walking in
Yeah.
to this. I know we kind of talked about this, but I think this should put us on a good track.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all want it to work better, so we're not at odds with even staff and you know, whatever. I think at the end of the day is we have to work. It has to work for both of us. So I like figuring out how it can. This is a very interesting way to do it. So it might actually work.
We'll see.
Yep.
All right, I move
So
to
we had a
adjourn.
motion from. Is there a
All right.
second?
Second.
All right, we're adjourned at 1:32. All right, thank you.
That's good.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, catch you later.